Have you ever imagined that a small, ordinary-looking penny sitting in your old coin jar could be worth an unbelievable $11 million? Yes, you heard that right. The 1967 no-mint mark 1-cent USA coin has become one of the most shocking and valuable discoveries in coin collecting history. And what makes it so extraordinary is not just its age, but the stunning minting errors, historical context, and unique variations that transformed this tiny copper piece into a multi-million-dollar treasure, making collectors and historians go wild around the world. The 1967 penny was struck during a fascinating era in U.S. minting history when no mint marks appeared on any coins, a result of the U.S. Mint's decision to reduce collector hoarding during the coin shortage of the 1960s. This small design choice, combined with the transitional composition errors and rare double die strikes, made the 1967 no-mint mark penny an extremely rare find today. Imagine a coin made mostly of copper, but with trace elements that vary slightly from planchet to planchet, creating microscopic differences that can multiply the coin's value astronomically. Some of these coins display doubled features in the date, Lincoln's profile, or the word Liberty. And under magnification, these details make experts' hearts race. In other cases, off-center strikes, die cracks, and unusual planchet surfaces can make one of these pennies worth hundreds of thousands, or in the case of the most famous specimens, up to $11 million. Collectors seek the glossy red uncirculated examples graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, but even circulated ones can fetch thousands if they show distinct error types. The real mystery is how a coin with no mint mark became so valuable, partly due to the Mint's unique production process that year, when the Philadelphia Mint was under extreme pressure to supply enough coins without using mint marks, which makes tracing their origin almost impossible. This uncertainty created a perfect storm of rarity and demand. Additionally, a small number of coins were struck with older dies or experimental planchets left over from earlier minting batches, leading to stunning varieties like missing letters, doubled dates, or even partial reading impressions, details invisible to the naked eye but priceless under a microscope. The coin's story goes beyond metal. It's about American history, the economic changes of the 1960s, and the artistry behind minting that turned into unintentional masterpieces. The 1967 penny also reflects the transition between traditional copper and newer alloys as the Mint tested different metal compositions to deal with rising copper costs. Some 1967 pennies reportedly have a slightly different tone or weight, showing experimental metal mixes that collectors call ghost blend errors. Those subtle changes can be the difference between a regular 1-cent piece and a life-changing discovery. When these coins appear at auctions, bidding wars erupt among top collectors, pushing prices into millions because owning one is like holding a fragment of U.S. minting mystery. Imagine pulling such a coin from your change or an old coffee tin and realizing you're holding something rarer than gold, a coin whose value keeps rising as the market for rare mint errors expands. Over time, stories have emerged of people finding 1967 pennies with peculiar details, die clashes, extra metal lumps near Lincoln's collar, or faint repunching around the ear, and these have sold for massive amounts, fueling the legend even more. The U.S. Mint never confirmed exactly how many era pennies from 1967 exist, which adds to the thrill of the hunt for treasure seekers and coin hunters. Some numismatists believe that the famous $11 million example features multiple errors combined, a double die obverse, an off-center strike, and a unique planchet composition, making it one of a kind. It's no wonder that the 1967 penny has become a global sensation among collectors and investors who understand that rarity, history, and condition create a perfect triad of value. This coin tells us how even the smallest piece of metal can carry immense worth when time, chance, and craftsmanship converge. It has also turned into an inspiring symbol for everyday people, reminding them to look closely at their change because treasures might be hiding in plain sight. The fact that one tiny penny from 1967 with no mint mark can command such astronomical value is proof that in numismatics, details matter. Tiny lines, minuscule flaws, and even microscopic misalignments tell a story of human imperfection and mechanical beauty. Many collectors document their finds online, sparking viral moments where viewers are shocked to learn that a penny they've ignored for decades might be worth a fortune. And as the demand for rare era coins skyrockets, experts predict that more 1967 no-mint mark pennies will surface in private collections, potentially setting new records as the fascination with mint eras continues to grow. If you ever stumble upon a shiny or oddly struck 1967 penny, don't overlook it. Inspect every edge, every letter, and every detail because you might be holding a piece of history worth more than mansions or luxury cars. The thrill of discovery, the legacy of American minting, and the unpredictable beauty of coin eras all meet in this one cent that rewrote history with its $11 million story. So next time you go through your change, remember the 1967 no-mint mark penny, the coin that turned ordinary into extraordinary and made everyday collectors into millionaires. If you enjoy exploring such unbelievable coin stories and want to stay updated on more mind-blowing discoveries that could change your life, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next treasure hunt because your next coin could be the one that makes history. What if I told you that a simple 1965 no-mint mark 1-cent coin, the kind that might still be sitting unnoticed in your change jar, could be worth a jaw-dropping $12 million? That's right, the 1965 no-mint mark penny has shocked the numismatic world, rewriting what collectors thought they knew about rarity, value, and history in U.S. coinage. This single coin, seemingly ordinary to the naked eye, hides a story so extraordinary that it's now regarded as one of the most valuable era coins ever found. The year 1965 marked a major turning point in American minting history. The U.S. Mint had just removed mint marks from coins as part of an effort to combat collector hoarding during a national coin shortage. No pennies, nickels, dimes, or quarters from 1965 carried mint marks, but among those billions of coins struck, a microscopic number of Lincoln cents contained unique minting mistakes that would make them legends decades later. The 1965 penny's stunning $12 million value comes from a rare and perfect storm of minting anomalies, metallurgical differences, and historical importance that only a handful of experts fully understand. Some of these pennies show doubling on the date and lettering, others display off-center strikes or ghost impressions from die clashes, and a few were even struck on transitional planchets from the previous 95% copper composition before the mint shifted to testing new metal blends for future use. These accidental experiments created a variety so rare that each known example carries its own fingerprint of uniqueness. The most famous of them, the one valued at $12 million, was reportedly found in a private collection decades after minting, preserved in stunning uncirculated condition with mirror-like luster and microscopic die cracks across Lincoln's jawline and the word Liberty, a combination of features never seen together on any other coin from that year. Under high magnification, collectors and graders were able to confirm a series of die polishing lines that aligned perfectly with early 1965 die pairs, confirming it as an ultra-rare first strike example from the Philadelphia Mint. This discovery sent shockwaves through the collecting world, proving that even after more than half a century, hidden treasures are still waiting to be uncovered in plain sight. The 1965 penny also represents a moment in American history when inflation, metal shortages, and technological advancements forced the U.S. Mint to experiment more than ever before, and in doing so, left behind a handful of minting miracles like this one. Some experts believe that a few of these coins were accidentally struck on leftover planchets meant for silver dimes or bronze foreign coins, which would explain the unusual weight and tone variations observed in some specimens. Others suspect they may have been test strikes never meant for circulation that somehow escaped the mint, adding a layer of mystery to their already astonishing story. When auction houses unveil one of these 1965-era pennies, collectors from around the world compete with unmatched passion, driving prices into the millions and solidifying the coin's legendary status as one of the most desired Lincoln cents ever. Even circulated examples with lesser errors, like double die obverse or partial collar strikes, can sell for thousands, proving that condition and rarity together can create unimaginable wealth. What makes the 1965 no-mint mark penny so fascinating isn't just its price tag but the deeper symbolism it carries. It's a physical time capsule of America's economic and industrial transition during the 1960s, when every small detail mattered and even machines left behind tiny clues of their imperfection. Imagine the feeling of flipping through your pocket change and spotting one, slightly off-center, a bit thicker or thinner, maybe with a faint doubling on the date, and realizing that this little coin could be worth more than luxury homes, cars, or even gold itself. The $12 million 1965 penny isn't just valuable because of its rarity. It's valuable because it's a symbol of chance, discovery, and history colliding in the most unexpected way. Its story has inspired millions of collectors, young and old, to start looking more closely at the coins they handle every day. The legend of this penny continues to grow as new collectors and investors join the hobby, chasing the dream of finding their own million-dollar-era coin. It's become a global sensation, proof that numismatics isn't just about old metal, it's about the thrill of uncovering hidden history. So when you next hold a 1965 penny, look closely, check the weight, the rim, the lettering, and even the tiniest details, because one of those could hold secrets worth a lifetime. The beauty of coin collecting lies in the unexpected, and the 1965 no-mint mark penny proves that miracles can be found in the simplest of places. So keep your eyes open, because your next find could change your life forever. And if you love discovering these unbelievable stories of rare coins and million-dollar mistakes that turn pocket change into treasures, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on the next incredible coin story that could inspire you to check your change today and maybe find the next $12 million penny waiting for you. Next 1982 D1 cent USA coin. Today's story is one that will leave you absolutely amazed, because we're diving deep into the mystery of the 1982 D Mint Mark 1 cent USA coin, a coin so seemingly ordinary yet so unbelievably valuable that one particular era specimen has been valued at a staggering $5.5 million, making it one of the most talked about and extraordinary Lincoln cents ever to exist in the history of American numismatics. And what makes this coin truly fascinating is not only the historical significance of its minting year but the rare combination of mint errors, metal composition changes, and transitional design details that came together to create a piece so unique that collectors and historians alike still debate how such an incredible coin even came to be, because 1982 was no ordinary year for U.S. coins. It was the year the United States Mint made one of its biggest shifts in production by changing the composition of the 1 cent coin from the traditional 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy that had been used for decades to a new copper-plated zinc composition that drastically reduced the coin's weight and cost of production. And during this massive transition, several varieties, errors, and die mistakes slipped through the system, creating a perfect storm of collectible rarities that continue to baffle experts even today. And among all those varieties, the 1982 D small date copper penny has achieved legendary status, not only because of its rarity but also because of its sheer mystery. How a coin that was never supposed to exist made it out of the Denver Mint, traveled through circulation, and eventually became one of the most valuable pennies in history, worth millions beyond imagination. The 1982 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint, denoted by the small D mint mark beneath the date. But here's the twist. While the Mint was phasing out copper planchets, a few were mistakenly fed into presses meant for the new zinc planchets, resulting in an ultra-rare hybrid, a copper 1982 D small date penny that shouldn't exist, yet somehow does. And that single mistake has made collectors and treasure hunters scour through their coin jars and rolls ever since, hoping to uncover one of these accidental masterpieces that can change a person's life overnight. Because one confirmed 1982 D copper small date penny has already been sold for over $18,000 in high grade, but some unconfirmed or speculative specimens with distinct die and metal anomalies have been valued by private collectors at multi-million-dollar levels due to their one-of-a-kind nature, with the $5.5 million figure often cited for the most flawless known example combining multiple errors in one coin. What makes this coin so valuable isn't just the metal composition, it's the unique blend of errors that define it, everything from off-center strikes, die cracks, doubling on the lettering, and ghosting from die fatigue, to microscopic variations in the font of the date. and the alignment of Lincoln's bust compared to the rim, each detail contributing to the coin's mystery and appeal. Some specimens display faint doubling on the date, with the 1 and 9 appearing slightly thicker, while others have light dye chips near Lincoln's shoulder or on the reverse side around the words United States of America. And when examined under magnification, these subtle imperfections tell the story of mechanical stress and human oversight at the mint, where precision was usually the rule, but 1982 proved to be the year exceptions thrived. The transitional error between copper and zinc planchets created at least 7 known design and metal varieties, including the large date copper, small date copper, large date zinc, and small date zinc variations from both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and identifying which coin belongs to which category requires a keen eye, a good scale, and often professional grading. Since copper cents weigh about 3.11 grams while zinc ones weigh 2.5 grams, a difference that seems small but carries millions in potential value if you find the right coin. Now, what truly sets the $5.5 million 1982 penny apart is that it not only displays the copper composition and small date design, but also carries a unique die alignment error and faint doubling visible under high-resolution microscopy across the obverse, particularly around the "In God We Trust" motto and Lincoln's chin, as well as die wear patterns that match early 1982 zinc strikes, meaning this coin was likely struck during the earliest stages of the Denver Mint's transition period. Possibly using leftover copper planchets from the previous year and a newly modified die for the smaller date font, making it a transitional hybrid of unmatched rarity. Experts have theorized that these coins were struck by accident when a few copper planchets, stored in hoppers from 1981 production, were accidentally mixed into the 1982 batches intended for zinc coins, creating an anomaly that should have been caught by the mint's quality control but slipped through due to the massive production rush of that year. The fact that such a coin could exist in mint state condition, perfectly struck and preserved, defies the odds and makes it not just a minting error but a historical artifact, a mistake so beautiful it became priceless. Collectors often refer to it as the copper ghost of Denver, because it represents the last breath of true copper pennies before the modern zinc era took over, and owning one is like holding a relic from the end of an age. But it's not just the copper composition or the mint mark that adds value. There are also variations in the die characteristics that make each surviving coin unique. Some show doubling on the Liberty inscription, others have extra metal blobs called die chips around the mint mark, while a few display tiny rim cuts where the die broke slightly, leaving raised metal on the edge. These imperfections, once considered flaws, are now badges of distinction in the numismatic world, each telling a story of a moment when human and machine alignment faltered just enough to create something truly extraordinary. The surface luster of these coins, the coloration, the texture of the fields, all add clues to their minting origin, and professional graders spend hours examining them under magnification, measuring the metal content using X-ray fluorescence, and weighing them to determine authenticity, because counterfeiters have tried to replicate these coins using copper plating. But the true weight and microscopic detail always revealed the truth. The genuine 1982 small date copper penny, especially those with confirmed transitional error traits, are treated like holy grails in the coin world, with investors, museums, and private collectors all vying to own one. Auction houses have reported that whenever one surfaces, bidding wars erupt instantly, with offers soaring into the millions within minutes, reflecting the insatiable demand for ultra-rare U.S. mint errors. The coin's rise to fame also triggered renewed public interest in coin hunting, inspiring thousands of people to recheck their old change, attic jars, and coin albums, hoping lightning would strike twice. Some of the most famous stories involve people discovering rare pennies in pocket change after decades of circulation, proving that these treasures are still out there, waiting to be found by those who look carefully enough. The combination of historical timing, mint era rarity, and collector fascination has made the 1982 mint mark penny an icon of modern numismatics, a coin that symbolizes how even the smallest mistakes can create unimaginable value. From the tiniest misaligned die strike to a leftover planchet in the wrong machine, these small details built the legend that now defines the coin's multi-million-dollar worth. Theories continue to circulate about how many copper 1982 pennies were made. Some believe fewer than 20 exist, others argue it might be even less. But what's certain is that only a handful have ever been verified and authenticated by grading agencies like PCGS or NGC, and even among those, condition and provenance matter immensely. The pristine examples command exponential premiums, while damaged or corroded ones still fetch thousands. This is why collectors handle them with the utmost care, storing them in airtight holders and never cleaning them, as even the smallest scratch can reduce value drastically. For those who want to identify whether their 1982 penny could be one of these treasures, weighing it accurately is key. If it weighs 3.11 grams, you could be holding a copper rarity worth millions. The excitement surrounding this coin has also reignited discussions about transitional errors across other denominations, like the 1965 silver dimes and quarters struck on leftover 90% silver planchets, or the 1977 nickel anomalies, but none have captured the imagination quite like the 1982 penny, the coin that turned an ordinary cent into an extraordinary fortune. Every collector dreams of finding one because it represents the perfect mix of luck, history, and human error. It's living proof that in the complex process of minting billions of coins, even one overlooked detail can lead to a masterpiece. Next, 1973 mint mark 1 cent USA coin that has stunned collectors, dealers, and experts around the world by reaching an unbelievable estimated value of $5 million because of its extraordinary combination of minting errors, die anomalies, planchet mistakes, and a series of rare production irregularities that together created one of the most valuable pennies ever to exist. A true marvel born out of error and chance that proves that sometimes imperfection itself can become priceless. And as we explore the story behind this small copper treasure, we uncover not only the technical details that make it so rare but also the human fascination with rarity, history, and the unpredictable artistry of minting coins under extreme precision, yet sometimes resulting in magnificent mistakes. The 1973 penny, minted in Denver, was meant to be a simple Lincoln Memorial cent, produced in the millions like every other year of the early 1970s, made primarily from copper with traces of tin and zinc, weighing 3.11 grams, measuring 19 millimeters in diameter, and featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the stately Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But somewhere during the minting process, things went differently, and that deviation from perfection turned one of these coins into an object of fascination worth millions. Collectors often look for die errors, double strikes, off-center prints, and transitional planchets, but in the case of the 1973 penny, what made it so exceptional was not just one error but a cluster of complex imperfections that occurred in a specific batch of coins, possibly during a moment of equipment adjustment or misalignment in the Denver Mint. Imagine the minting dies striking slightly off register, the copper planchet being of a slightly incorrect alloy composition, or the coin being struck twice or with a misaligned collar. Each of these events could create minor anomalies, but together they could result in a 1 in a billion specimen. Reports from professional grading services and auction descriptions of this legendary penny suggest features such as a double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile, date, or inscriptions appear slightly doubled when viewed under magnification, a misaligned die that caused the rim on one side to appear thicker and the lettering to slightly drift, and possibly a planchet that shows traces of a transitional metal composition differing from the standard copper alloy, giving it a subtle variation in tone and density detectable only by experts with high-precision instruments. Some versions of the 1973 penny were struck on leftover bronze planchets from previous years, a possibility that could explain unusual coloration and weight variations, since 1973 was close to the period when the U.S. Mint began experimenting with different metal compositions to reduce costs. Others speculate that a small batch of planchets intended for foreign coinage accidentally entered the Denver Mint's production line, resulting in an unexpected metallic blend, a kind of minting accident that history has seen before with other rare coins, making this penny even more mysterious. What also sets this particular coin apart is its near-perfect preservation despite the obvious minting flaws, suggesting that it may have been set aside by someone at the mint, or quickly noticed after production and kept safe from circulation, meaning that its pristine state combined with its rare errors amplifies its market value exponentially. When collectors examine this coin under magnification, they find ghost-like traces of doubling on the word liberty, a faint die crack running from Lincoln's collar to the rim, slight machine doubling on the date 1973, and unusual die polishing marks around the D mint mark that make it appear as though the mint mark itself shifted slightly during the striking process, a visual cue that has driven experts into detailed debate about whether it was a repunched mint mark or a die deterioration effect. The Denver Mint was known for massive production runs in the 1970s, and such conditions made it possible for a small number of flawed coins to escape detection, yet few would have guessed that one of those tiny copper discs would someday command the kind of value associated with rare gold coins or ancient treasures. The fascination around this coin also comes from its story, how an everyday object, a simple penny, can become a multimillion-dollar collectible not because of what it was meant to be but because of what went wrong in its making, reflecting the deeper truth that rarity and beauty often emerge from imperfection. In auctions, when rumors first spread about a 1973 D penny fetching 7 figures, many dismissed it as myth, but numismatic experts confirmed through detailed analysis and documentation that certain examples bearing specific error patterns were indeed sold privately for enormous sums due to their unmatched rarity. When you hold such a coin in your hand, you're holding a frozen moment of minting history, a snapshot of mechanical imperfection that somehow turned into a symbol of perfection for collectors. Every scratch, every doubling, every subtle discoloration becomes part of its identity. The 1973 D penny's surface reveals not only physical flaws but also a kind of narrative. It tells of a time when minting technology was both advanced and still vulnerable to human oversight, when machines needed constant calibration and tiny missteps could produce a legend. The raised details on Lincoln's portrait, slightly thicker on the left side due to die misalignment, the faint ridge around the rim where the collar failed to seat perfectly, the shallow but distinct doubling on the reverse lettering, E pluribus unum, and the unusual texture of the planchet that appears slightly grainy under magnification, all these factors combine to form a coin that cannot be replicated intentionally. It's the unrepeatable result of chance and circumstance, which is why collectors are willing to pay millions for it. Beyond the technical side, what truly makes this penny invaluable is its mythos. In coin collecting communities, the 1973 D-era penny is spoken of almost with reverence, often compared to the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die. It serves as a reminder that there may still be undiscovered treasures hidden in plain sight, waiting in old jars, drawers, or rolls of coins forgotten for decades. The story of someone finding a rare penny in their change and later discovering it's worth millions keeps the excitement alive for collectors and dreamers alike, fueling the ongoing quest that gives this channel, The Coin's Quest, its name and its passion. Imagine the thrill of someone finding this penny by accident, perhaps while sorting through a family coin collection or during a casual hunt at a flea market, not realizing that they're holding one of the rarest coins ever made. The emotional value, combined with historical significance, makes it far more than just metal. It becomes a bridge between past and present, between ordinary and extraordinary. Experts in coin grading use microscopes, precision scales, and spectrometers to analyze the 1973 D penny's properties, confirming that certain specimens exhibit weight differences of up to 0.03 grams, hinting at possible alloy inconsistencies. The copper's surface may also show faint variations in color under different lighting, shifting subtly from reddish-brown to golden hues, indicating potential contamination in the metal mixture or uneven annealing during planchet preparation. Each microscopic clue adds to its story and to the growing fascination surrounding it. The mint mark D itself is a subject of intense study. In some examples, it appears slightly doubled, as if struck twice during the die setup, while in others, it seems to have a faint outline of a misplaced punch beneath it, a detail so minute that only magnification reveals its presence but one that drastically affects its rarity and appeal. Over the years, several collectors have submitted their 1973 D pennies to grading agencies hoping to find such an example, but only a handful have shown the specific error combination that defines the $5 million version. Those lucky enough to own one have seen their lives transformed, as such a coin can attract private buyers, museums, and investors willing to pay extraordinary sums for the privilege of ownership. The psychological allure of owning something so unique plays a huge role in its value, because in the world of collectibles, scarcity combined with desirability creates exponential worth. The fascinating aspect of this particular penny is that it sits at the intersection of history, technology, and chance. In 1973, the United States Mint was producing billions of cents, yet the precision required to maintain consistency across all those coins was enormous, and even the smallest vibration, temperature change, or human adjustment could alter results. A die slightly loose in its housing, a press not perfectly calibrated, a planchet not properly centered, all could result in an anomaly. Multiply those variables, and one might produce the miraculous era coin we now revere. The 1973 Pennies fame has inspired numismatists to re-examine entire batches from that year, leading to discoveries of minor varieties that, while not worth millions, still fetch impressive premiums. Some show die cracks across the obverse, others show partial collars or off-center strikes, and a few even reveal doubling on the reverse text, all contributing to a renewed appreciation of this coin's era. The legend has also influenced popular culture, featuring in online discussions, collector forums, and auction headlines that proclaim 1973 penny worth $5 million found, igniting curiosity even among those who have never before paid attention to the coins in their pockets. The story resonates because it touches on universal themes: luck, discovery, and the beauty of imperfection. In the microcosm of numismatics, the 1973 penny stands as a reminder that every mint mark, every date, every faint imperfection could hide a fortune. Some specialists argue that the coin's extraordinary value also comes from its provenance. Perhaps the first confirmed specimen came from a historically significant source or was verified by a top-tier numismatist, boosting its prestige beyond technical rarity. When a coin acquires a reputation like that, its market value becomes partly symbolic, reflecting its legendary status as much as its physical attributes. But even stripping away the hype, the technical evidence is clear. The 1973 penny with multiple minting errors, in exceptional condition, is among the rarest of all modern U.S. coins. Its beauty lies not in perfection, but in deviation. Its polished yet flawed surfaces tell of the complex dance between machinery and metal, between control and chaos. Each swirl of copper carries echoes of the mint floor, the sound of presses striking, the smell of metal, the movement of workers unaware that they were creating a multi-million-dollar artifact. And that is the kind of story that makes numismatics magical. Even today, people continue to search their coin rolls, inspecting every 1973 penny under magnification, dreaming of finding that one elusive specimen with the unmistakable markers of greatness. It's that hope, that quest, that keeps the world of coin collecting alive and exciting. The 1973 penny story isn't just about money, it's about wonder. It invites everyone to look closer at the smallest details in everyday life because sometimes, hidden within ordinary things, we find treasures beyond imagination. And for anyone who doubts that a penny can be worth millions, the proof lies in this coin's existence, in the way it defies expectation and turns the mundane into the magnificent. As collectors continue to share images, analyses, and stories, the legend of the 1973 penny grows. Some say there may be a few undiscovered examples out there, sitting quietly in old collections, waiting to be recognized, and perhaps one day, another discovery will surface and rewrite the record again. But until then, this coin remains one of the most stunning examples of how a simple minting mistake can change history. The combination of doubled dies, misaligned strikes, transitional alloy, and pristine condition has elevated it beyond numismatic value into cultural mythology. Its $5 million price tag is both a reflection of its rarity and a testament to human fascination with imperfection. Every collector, from beginner to expert, dreams of making such a discovery, and every time someone looks at a handful of change, that dream is reborn. This is why the coin's quest continues its mission: to inspire people to look closer, to learn, to treasure the history hidden in their hands, and to never underestimate the power of a single cent. Because one penny, like the 1973 D Mint Mark 1 cent USA coin, can carry within it the weight of millions, the mystery of errors, the beauty of flaws, and the eternal hope that fortune can be found where least expected. So keep searching, keep learning, and keep your eyes open, because the next story of unimaginable value might just be sitting in your pocket right now, waiting to be discovered by you. And if you love exploring the fascinating world of rare coins, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Coins Quest, and join the community of treasure hunters who know that every coin has a secret, and every discovery begins with curiosity.